My name is Steve Rajeff, and I'm the rod designer for G. Loomis. G. Loomis has the largest selection of Spey rods by any company in the world. We did a hard study on all the styles of Spey casting and developed rods uniquely for those dominant styles of Spey casting. Over 150 years ago in Scotland, there was a style developed just called traditional Spey casting. It's where we use a fixed line, perhaps 80, 90, 100 feet long, and you lock it down and maintain that distance. We pick up the line and make a tremendous D-loop behind and cast out, changing the direction. That's called the traditional method of casting. That was the normal way to Spey cast up until about 1960, and at that time frame, casters from the sport of tournaments adapted shooting heads to the Spey rod. And what is now called the Scandinavian Method, the design of the rod was quite a bit shorter in length and faster taper. These rods were designed to focus a narrow, tight loop and then shoot out a long cast using a shooting head and monofilament line after the shooting head. It's a great way to cast far using lighter weight rods and a lot more fun catching the fish. The disadvantage is after every swing, you must retrieve the line back up to the edge of the shooting head. Make your cast much the same way as the traditional cast. In the 1980s, for the anglers trying to adapt the Spey rods for northwest steelhead fishing, another style of rod was developed, one that would make it much easier to cast a sinking tip fly line combined with a heavily weighted fly. Popularized on the Skagit River in northern Washington, a method of casting using the least powerful, most flexible, easy to load rods of all was developed. This is commonly now called Skagit style casting. Different than the other styles of Scandinavian or grease line traditional styles, the method of the cast employs a fixed anchor point, or sometimes called sustained anchor point. Rather than the touch, splash, and go cast, here we're allowed to position the line, let it sit in the water for a moment. You can position the belly anywhere you want, and when you're ready, swing it around back and cast. These rods, the Skagit style, has a more deeper bending action, intentionally so to open the loop so that the heavy sink tip and fly does not catch and tangle during the stroke. Most of the time it uses a monofilament line after the shooting head, although lines are now available with an integrated into the thin fly line. It cuts your distance down, but for anglers who don't like monofilament in their fingers, that's another way to go. But these are the three dominant styles used in Spey casting worldwide. Personally, I enjoy using the Dredger family of rods by G. Loomis, which is the design for Skagit casting. Very lightweight, easy to cast far, and when you get a fish on, you can really feel the fish fight. It's the lightest of all the rods, and that's my personal choice in Spey rods.